Hi, everyone. Carmen Disco here, the Launch Network. We are rolling along. We have another awesome show, Made in America. My friend, co-host, the man himself, Mr. Christopher Guerrera. Chris, what's happening, man?
Hey, Carmine, doing pretty good. Having fun. I mean, we got some good shows. We got some good content. Just posted the Josh Malone interview we did up on LinkedIn. It's getting a lot of great feedback and a lot of interaction. I think it's clear, right? People love good endings to stories. And in Josh's case, what a good ending. So as we continue to build this platform, we'll keep having a variety of people that have a variety of different products in different categories and keep showing the world what America's doing.
Yeah, what I like about what we're doing here or what you're doing on this show is, you're not concentrating on one specific thing. You really got a category of information, knowledge, experience, and you're bringing on people that aren't just making this up. I mean, the guys that you're bringing on, the women you're bringing on, the people you're bringing on, I mean, they're living this. It's not something that they just read a book and all of a sudden they're an expert.
Yeah, this is real life stories. This is not fake it till you make it. This is working your butt off and realizing it's not that easy, and the drive and passion and commitment it takes to get your product launched and to get it into retail. It's not an easy task. And our guest today, he's got a great story. Kevin Murray of the Big Blade, baby. I wish I had one of these. Wait till we talk about this product. I wish I had one of these, being from the Northeast with the snow. I always said to myself, I can't shovel my driveway. It'll take me 2 days. I'm using the kids' sleds and anything to get, because it's like snow, it's easy to move. Well, Kevin came up with that idea. Kevin came up with an amazing product, and boy, I could have used it back in the day. Now that I'm in South Carolina,
you don't need it.
I need suntan lotion. I don't need snow removal.
Well, you need a big shovel to move all the money you have, right, in your vault.
Yeah, I wish. Let's bring him on. Kevin, glad to have you today.
Hey guys, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, it's good to have you on. So we call him the Big Blade. Last week we had on Dimitri Boss, the boss. Today we got on the Blade. So Kevin, talk a little bit about it. Let's talk about your background a little bit. Like you have a full-time job, right? Let's talk about that and how this idea you had led you into this invention, which is pretty cool idea.
Well, back in 1986, my mother was coming home from the hospital after surviving breast cancer, and I came out to clear 6 inches of snow off the driveway. And when I came out, I grabbed my father's old pan coal shovel and I started. And then this big shovel snapped, and I was like, uh-oh. So I went back in the garage looking for something else. I couldn't find anything. I found a piece of Luan up against the wall, 4x4 piece of Luan. So I went out and I said, let's give it a try. And I've worked construction all my life, and I just improvise on a lot of things on a job site. And I started in the middle of the driveway and went to one side. I turned around and I cleared a 4-foot area, a 4-foot by 10-foot area in I think it was 2 seconds. I turned around, I said, that was interesting. Went back to the other side and I scalloped right down the driveway to the bottom. And when I got done, my neighbor yelled across at me. She said, hey, you cheated. And I said, wow, the light bulb, there it is. I'm like, that's a good idea, So it was 1986. I was a young kid, didn't have any money, and I let the idea go and whatever. And then years go by, my mother and father passed away, and they left us a little bit of money, and I put some money into a patent. I did some research, found a patent, and I revisited the whole idea, and I got into it again. And in 2010, I started doing the research into that end of it again, trying to find the right product, the right plastic, the right manufacturer to help me out and make this thing. Took me a year and a half to find a guy that I can actually work with, and it worked out. I mean, everything seemed to fall into place right in the beginning. Everything I needed the manufacturer. Boom, I was driving down the street. Boom, there's a manufacturer. I'm like, holy cow. All this stuff kind of fell into place. As time goes by, I get better and better at picking up, doing the things I have to do. And
I think about this product as a kid, right? So I had a paper route. I had the largest paper route in Waterbury, Connecticut, but I also did on big storms. I was trying to teach my kids this, forget it. New generation, you can forget it. I would go around with a shovel, literally with a shovel, a little snow shovel, and offer to shovel people's driveways. This is back, boy, I'm really dating myself now, probably like 1975, 76, right? And I would do it depending on how big it was. I'd quote it on site, could be 15 bucks or 30 bucks. Now, this is after a 3-foot blizzard. I'm shoveling people's walkways.
I did the same thing
for 30 bucks.
Yeah, I did the same thing. And when I made the prototype with my brother, we were waiting for the first snow. And we made the prototype, and we just had my daughter, and she was inside on the couch. And I told my wife, I said, you gotta come out here and videotape me. She goes, what are you doing? She didn't know what I was doing. I was talking to everybody in the planet. I had phone calls, I had this, I had that. She didn't know what I was doing. So I finally go out on the driveway, and I make the first pass, and she's videotaping. And I get done in 3 minutes. I think it was 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes, I got done with the driveway. It was a 25 by 50 foot driveway.
Wow.
And I turn around and I go, and that's it. She looks at me, she goes, that was 2.5 minutes. And I said, yeah, I know. That's what I figured. I didn't think anything of it because that's what I thought it was going to be. Well, she goes back in the house, and it took me about 5 minutes to clean up and put everything away in the garage. I come back in that, and she's standing in the living room looking at the video over and over again. She turns to me, she goes, you cleaned the driveway in 2.5 minutes. 4 or 6 inches of snow.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. And she goes, it's amazing.
So let's tell our audience, what is this, right? It's a shovel. I'll let you explain what it is, but basically, I think of this as something I used to do with these passes. Think about the return, right? Your return on your investment. Right. I mean, to have somebody come plow, minimum is 30 bucks. Up depends how big your driveway is, what type of hill you have, especially in the Northeast. Could be $100 a wipe. Now you're doing like, that's why I used to say I'll do some of my own shoveling. But you're trying to move snow with a small shovel. It just doesn't work. It takes you forever. This design does it. It really does. So if you can't show our viewers a product, it's
this is just a business card. It's the same shape as the tool. It's the same shape as the tool. It's my business card. It's 48 inches high.
Two sizes, right? A 32 and a 40 inch.
A 32 and a 40, and I like the 40 better. It just feels better to me because maybe it's just because I'm a guy. I don't know, but I think there's a little bit better dexterity in the product because of how wide it is. The 32 is good. It's a good product. It fits through more gate openings and stuff.
We just put it up on the screen for our viewers that are watching on YouTube. They can see it. And we'll talk about where to get it, but it's up on Amazon, up on his website. But we'll get that to later in the show. So, I look at this, man, I'm telling you, this is something I really, really, really could have used. I mean, because it is, I like being outside. I don't like shoveling heavy, wet snow and with a shovel and moving it, right? When you're pushing something, it's that much easier. So to me, this would have been this is an amazing design. And Kevin, where are you making this?
Right now, I'm having it made in Iowa.
Oh, wait. Did you say in America?
Oh,
no.
no.
Did I hear you say it's being made in the USA?
Yeah.
Boy, I teed you up on that one.
Yeah. It's good stuff, right?
It's great stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. So talk about that story a little bit, how you got involved and the amount of work to get it, not just as an idea and design it, but then to get it manufactured with the tooling, a pretty big unit, right? You got to ship it. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I was manufacturing the yellow one to begin with, I wanted the color to be yellow. Don't ask me why, I just like yellow. So I started making them yellow, and the manufacturer in Iowa was like, okay, yeah, this is the price. And I said, okay. And then I had to figure out how to bring this price cost down. And I beat myself up and I didn't know what to do about it. And I actually had a partner a little bit in the beginning of this guy. He helped me out. He had suggested making it out of recycled material. Now, if we make it out of recycled material, it's going to actually darken the product. Because you have to darken the product because you can't use recycled material. It's not a virgin material. You can't use color. So,
by the way, Walmart loves that. We'll talk about that near the end because you and I are working on getting that into Walmart. Walmart wants it recycled. They love that. Yours is 100% recycled, I believe.
100% recyclable and then recyclable. So it's a really good product in that sense. It's great that I'm losing my train of thought here.
Well, you were at the plant, right? You're developing it. You're meeting with these guys at the manufacturing facility. So walk through that a little bit.
So he ended up making it for me in a recycled material. And I was kind of leery about the whole situation because I didn't know what to expect. I already seen the yellow one and it was beautiful and I loved it. And everybody who had the yellow one loved it, you know, and they all wanted colors, this, that, and the other thing. But then I came home from work one day and there was 2 pallets in the driveway, and they were all machined and ready to go. And I was like, it was, you know, it was in cardboard and it was wrapped and nice. And I'm like, I was like so scared to open it up because I didn't know what to expect. And I finally opened it up. I snapped the bands. I pulled one out and I said, wow, this is nice. You know,
How cool is that, right? To see your idea now come to reality. How cool is that?
It was really pretty wild. And I was like blown away by it. Now that I had these, I started selling them, and they started selling even better because of the color, I guess. I don't know. And people, and word of mouth, people started hearing about it more and more. I really didn't do any advertising either. This is all word of mouth stuff, you know. I had a national hardware show back in the day, and here in Long Island, and it wasn't a national hardware show. That was in 2017. I had the National Coliseum when I first started this thing out, and I sold out. I sold 180 units. Boom, gone on the 3rd day. You know, the first day was kind of mild, not a lot of sales. Second day was a little more, and then Sunday, everything went. And I was like,
I checked out your reviews on Amazon. They're all great. I mean, I can see why this is selling so good. It's such a great tool. And you know, sometimes we're getting people to plow and to schedule. And if you can do it quick and it's easy, and you can have kids do it and make it fun. I see this as being fun. I mean, it just makes it that much easier.
Another thing is, you know, you want to get done, you want to get that back in the house. Mm-hmm. So the quicker you do it, the better off you are, right? So you don't want to wait until there's a 2 foot of snow on the ground. Like, right. We've had, this winter was a little rough here. We had, I think we had 3 storms of 18 inches plus.
Yeah, me and Carmen wouldn't know about that.
I know. You guys are rubbing in. I know. My brother
calls me. Worry about, like, you know, is it going to be 19 degrees or 49 degrees?
Yeah, I know. So I went out every 4 inches, and it took me 2 minutes. You know, I did the front, the sidewalk, and the back patio, and I have a big back 30 by 30 patio, and I did the whole thing. I was back in the house. In 5 minutes, I went out every 4 inches, and it wasn't a problem at all. I mean, it was amazing, because when I got done, it would look really pretty good, and the only thing I really had to do was go clean up the edges, because with that much snow, your edges are gonna get ugly. You know, they look, you're piling up snow on top of piled up snow. You know, but at least the walkways and everything were clear. You know,
Chris, the worst part is, Kevin, is he's not worried about the snow. He's worried about how the edges look.
Right?
You're scaring me here.
And here I am thinking, I have a sport court, right? I had like, I don't know, if it was 50 or 60 by 70 sport court that somehow I had to shovel in the winter and the kids used it. Can you imagine if I had perfect? I was trying to use those small little snow blowers, and I finally said, you know, I'm done doing this. I'm breaking my back. You guys want to shovel, go do it.
Back in the beginning, right. the original one was 48 by 48, right? Because it was the original size. That's what I wanted to make. But I had to shrink the size down because of shipping. Yeah. But to jump back a second, I think I was like the first month into making these things, and these kids called me up, and they're not kids, they were men. And they're like, we want to buy 4 of them. And I go, for what? And they're like, we'll play hockey. And I go, yeah. And he goes, we clear the ice with him. And I go, okay. So he shows up with he shows up with a Prius. And I look at him and I go, how are we going to get these things in a Prius? You know? Do you know I fit them in his Prius, like caddy long, like I put them long ways and sideways. It was just, he got them in the car and he goes, thanks a lot. See you later. I never saw the guy again.
Wow.
I was like,
pretty cool.
He loved it.
So let's talk about this a little bit. This is the reality of launching products. So you have an idea, you're working for a living, you have an idea, you got to develop it, you got to work it out, you got to find a manufacturer. Now you got real products in your hand. You've got a name for the product. And what happens next?
Well, I was humming along. I just had I rebuilt another website. So I had the first one and I figured, well, let's update it to make it a little better because it wasn't really that great. And then as soon as I did that, I got a cease and desist letter from Douglas Dynamics, a big snowplow company on the highway. They make the big highway plow for the highway trucks. And 2 months or a month before they served me with a cease and desist letter, they had bought Henderson snowplows for $200 million cash. I'm like, I can't fight with these guys.
Yeah.
They're too big, you know?
So what's that
So I went-
feeling? What's that feeling? You work your butt off. You got a job you're working at. Now you're launching a product and you get this letter and you go like, what? They want me to stop?
Yeah. So I said to myself, you know what? I have to talk to somebody. So I went and I spoke to this attorney, and she's the best attorney around in intellectual law. I forget her name. Again, I gotta get her name for you. But anyway, she says to me, we're going to beat this. And I said, okay, let's beat it. She goes, okay. I said, how are we going to beat it? She goes, well, they have to prove a lot of things. And I go, what are they going to prove? They got to prove it's the same product. They got to prove it's the same logo. They got to prove it's the same size. They got to prove it's the same price point. And all this stuff was completely different. And I said, okay, well, let's do it. She goes, okay, cut me a check for 10 grand.
There you go.
I said, I had 10 grand to give you 10 grand. She goes, well, then you're gonna have to change your name. So I got on the phone. I actually got an email, and I wrote Douglas Dynamics a letter and asked them if they would be interested in taking me on board as, you know, working hand in hand with the.
I love that. That's a good strategy. Instead of fighting.
I thought
right?
it was
It's a good strategy.
I thought it was, but they basically kiboshed that idea, and they insisted on me cease and desist, and that was about all I could do with it. So I changed the name. And, you know, it's funny because I'm driving down the road and I'm thinking, what am I going to call this thing now? How am I going to call it? You know, and everywhere I'm going, and I mean everywhere I look, there's the word big, B-I-G, just everywhere I look. Big carpet, big gas sale, big this, big that, big.
You know what Brandy always says to me? I need a new fan. I need a big ass fan is what she calls it. I said, you realize there's actually a company, William Refrigerator Perry from Chicago Bears, who actually has a company called that.
Yeah, so I found the name Big, and I said Big Blade, and I went with it, and then I was working in Solar City for a little while with this guy, and he says to me, BigBlade.co, and I said, yeah, that's it. And he goes, so if you've got snow, go to BigBlade.co, and I go, that's it, that's the tag, you know. I'm like, well, all right, you got snow, go to BigBlade.co.
There you go. So everybody knows that's the website. You can go visit Kevin's Big Blade because he's the man. Great idea. And that's his website. But let's talk some more. So, okay, so now you get that upsetting news. Your heart falls to your feet.
Right.
But you don't stop, right? You're passionate. You don't quit. You keep going. So let's keep going with the story. So now, what's your next steps? You change the name.
You know what's funny is because back when I went to the national, I keep saying the national, when I went to the Nassau home show there, this young kid comes up to me and he says, you know, I have 10 patents. And I said, oh, very good for you. You know, and he told me a couple of them, and I said, very good. And he looks at me and he goes, get yourself a trademark. And I didn't realize what he was talking about. I had no idea. I was brand new into this whole thing. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, get a trademark on that. And I said, all right, you know, and time went by. I think it was 6 years. And that's when he came after me, this guy, Douglas Dynamics. And I went and right after that happened, and I had to change the name, I went and got the trademark for BigBlade.co, Big Blade Snow Glider. And it was a great thing to do because now nobody can touch it. It's done. I should have listened to the kid in the beginning. I didn't realize how important they were trying to tell me. And it ended up working out pretty good. So far, so good. You know, I had to rebrand everything, which was, you know, change everything over. Had to get a whole new website again.
But you didn't stop, right? You felt the passion. It became your baby, and you said, "There's no way I'm stopping." So let's keep going, right? Now you got some more momentum, right? You put that behind you. That went away. Now you got Big Blade. I love the name. I really do. It fits it perfect. So as I say, everything happens for a reason. In this case, it definitely happened for the right reason, right? So that's a bump in the road. You keep going. Now let's talk about how did you get it to market? Who's seeing it? How are you selling it?
Well, every year since 2010, every year I do something for the business, and you know, I still haven't made money with this thing. I keep dumping anything I make back into the company. Mm-hmm. So as time goes by, you know, I got to this point now. It's funny that everything happened the way it did because right after I got the trademark, I went and got the UPC codes. Now I have the UPC codes. I can actually get into some stores. I can get into this, that, and the other thing. They want that. They want to see it's registered. They want to see everything is in line, you know. So I went and I got that done. I take care of that, and then a brand new website, like I said. Keep knocking on
Which I like the
doors.
website. I like the colors. It's bright, good videos.
Thank you. Yeah,
Right.
you
So
did a good job.
talk about that. You made some sell sheets. You made some videos. And I
Yeah.
love something he said, Carmine. This is what's not being taught properly. He said a key word there. I'm not making any money yet. Everyone's selling a dream that immediately you're going to make millions of dollars, which is complete false.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you got something that is Josh Malone, right? Then, which ended up costing him millions to fight someone from stealing his idea. It's not how it normally goes. It's a long process. You have to be patient. You have to really push forward. So keep going, Kevin,
So
because
next
little tidbits of everything you're saying here is so important.
It really is to people, yeah. To get, to new inventors, they really just, it's so hard. It's just, you just got to keep going though. If you really believe in it, just keep going.
Yeah.
So anyway, I went to the National Hallway Show. Now it's the National Hallway Show in 2017. I figured I'd go there and get some exposure. I'd try and land a deal with Home Depot, Lowe's, Target, Walmart, Bed Bath & Beyond, anybody who would listen. And I had a lot of people come and look. I was in the inventors section, so there was a lot of people walking through. I didn't have a giant booth. I had a little booth. It was interesting. I met a lot of nice people, met a lot of really good connections. I still speak to a lot of those people today, but so I went and I got the insurance alone is another big thing. Product liability insurance, that was another thing.
Well, Carmine, again, he's talking about real life situations. People don't even realize they need liability insurance. It's not cheap. It's expensive.
It is.
Right. And again, like Walmart on certain products requires 2 million up to 7 million. I'm speaking on reality here on my products. So it's a cost that you as an inventor have to bear as you launch a product.
So I'm trying to sell this thing on the website. I got everything into place. After 10 years, I finally getting everything to line up, and I'm selling this thing, and I'm getting banged over the head with these shipping costs, and I'm going, because it's such a big product. So that leads me to drop it from a 48 inch to a 42, and then I had to drop it to a 40 and a 32, right? So I'm like, okay, it is what it is. That's what I got to do. I'm still paying an arm and a leg to ship this thing across the country, no matter where I'm shipping it. It doesn't matter. It's $30, $40 easy, just in the Northeast, just from where I am. If I want to ship it across the country, it's $100. I'm like, I can't. So then my neighbor who works, he doesn't work. He has his own, he sells stuff on Amazon. He's got his own page and everything else, his own company. He says, why don't you sell on Amazon? And I said, well, I don't know how to do that. He said, well, I'll help you out. We'll set up a page and you can start selling on Amazon. Well, he set up a page and I linked my website right to Amazon. Amazon starts doing all the fulfillment. I ship everything to Amazon right from the manufacturer. They're handling everything for less than I can handle shipping anything myself. They're handling the shipping costs. They're handling everything for me. Mm-hmm. I can't compete with that. So I'm with Amazon now, and it's been a good 2020 has been the best year I've had yet, and it was a pandemic.
Yeah, you said you were selling out of them, which is pretty cool. Who's managing that account? Are you managing the Amazon account yourself?
I am with his help, my neighbor's help. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely not for everybody, right? It's not.
There's a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, right. That's what I want to get to. I mean, I don't want people to think it's easy because it's not.
No,
I've done it. It's not easy.
I look at it.
Somebody doing it for me.
I look at it and I see Greek. I'm like, oh yeah. There's so many things. How many pages can people? Yeah. It's a giant conglomeration. It's just giant. And within itself, it's just so big.
But it's pretty cool, Carmine. He had a bunch of inventory, and last year he sold out. I mean, so he's getting some traction now. I'm submitting it to Walmart for Made in America. We had the next open innovation, right? The open buyer is going to be, the meetings will set up for June, but you have to have it all done and in by May 1st, and I've already submitted it. I have all his videos. I have his sheets, the size, the UPC codes. So I put it in under, because I have a vendor number. So I'm helping them push it and we'll see what happens. But I mean, all you need is one break. It doesn't happen like it's not, sometimes it's quick. I can tell you the story of a super potty trainer. Then other times I tell you the story of Tiny Hook. It's been over a year, right? It's all about catching a break. So we'll see. I mean, the more you show it, it's clearly a cool product. He's selling out of it on Amazon. great reviews, so he's getting some traction now.
Yeah, it's a good product. Really works well. You know, the school districts around here, I've sold a bunch of them to the school districts, and they find out who I am, and they're like, "Man, that's the greatest tool ever! I can't believe it! I don't know why I didn't think of him." Like, I don't know. I just
But you know, it's funny. Everyone says that. Why
Yeah.
didn't I think of it? Everyone has a great idea, right? But nobody acts on it. If you don't act on it, no one's ever going to see it.
No doubt. No doubt about it.
Yeah,
Everybody.
that's definitely key. So
Yep.
Kevin's so he's up on Amazon. He's got a website called Big Blade. I think it's .co.
Yep.
He's got two sizes, a 32-inch and a 40-inch. And you know, they're available to ship, and he's using it not just for snow, he's using it in the fall for leaves. I mean, he was showing me the different applications for the leaves. It's pretty cool. I mean, again, it's something where I always find the opportunity to use my products as many variables as I can, like the tidy hook, right? We use it on the front seat, we use them on the back seats. Then you can unclip it. People, customers are using them as storage for the food, right? Like on both sides for drinks and food. They bring them to the lacrosse fields, the baseball fields, and they use the home version, hang up on the fence, clip it. So the kids have a place not only to take the drinks, but to put the empties. So he's using it in all different aspects. And you know, I just think it's another great story, Carmine, right? You got a guy who's got a job, he's working full time. He's launched a product. And again, to find it in the US is not an easy task. It's a big product, could be expensive. And of course, shipping is a challenge, but it'd be even more of a challenge if he was doing it, you know, overseas.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
And
Real quick, Chris,
he found a niche.
quick question for you with the manufacturing of it. Obviously, you know this fairly well. A product like that, would it be hard to find a manufacturer in the U.S. that, I mean, is that really big tooling, or is it a press? I mean, how is a product that wide, that thick made?
Yeah, there's a couple ways. To injection mold that is a huge tool, high tonnage. You can get it where you fabricate it on a roll and then die cut it, right? That's probably the easier of the two. We looked at all different ways of doing it, but in the end, you got to get it where the cost is in line, because now you're selling this for, $60. Then you got to ship it.
Wow.
So it's not an easy product to just, someone's going to go to the checkout counter and spend $7. It's a thought process. And when you can show them what it can do, in this case, it's pretty cool. I mean, I think about me in the Northeast, what I used to do at some point using my kids. You remember those plastic sleds? I think in Chevy Chase's Christmas, whatever that movie is.
Vacation.
Yeah, Christmas Vacation, when he's zooming down the hill. Well, we used to use those plastic ones. You do the same thing. It's hard plastic on ice. And I used to use that to move the snow. And this is what he's now turned that into a real product. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think this has some good teeth. I'm going to show it to the buyers. I'm going to show it to Menards. I'm going to show it as much as I can. I mean, I personally love helping out guys like Kevin. Good dude. He's easy to work with. He's been a fun guy to work with. And I like seeing people, becoming successful on something that was an idea and they took action on, and it became a real success. I mean, not only that, but hitting a bump in the road and then making sure you don't quit or stop and turning it back into something that's pretty cool.
That's huge.
Hey, back.
I love it.
So let's talk a little bit more about your next steps with this product, because I can even see, like, once this gets going, again, you need a break. Once it gets going, I see other products that you can launch with this and turn this into a product line. So what are your next steps with this? You're selling on Amazon. You want to get it into retail, right?
Yes, I do. I want to get into retail this way. It'll definitely just help out a lot with the shipping costs and everything else that goes along with that.
Yeah, I would say, like, shipping pallets, LTL.
Yeah.
This will fit nice and flat.
Yeah.
With a simple identification sleeve package. Yeah, I can see that being being pretty cool. And then I can see this also having a, shipping maybe in a container that you just tear off the front,
Right.
which shows like a display case, and put it up on the racks. Absolutely. Because think about it. Your shovel, your height of your product and the height of a shovel aren't much different, right? So you're not taking up a lot of space. You know how retailers look at it. They look at the dollars of revenue per square foot. So I can see this being in the same category.
Yeah, there's a lot of features and benefits for this thing. The Big Blade. It's just it's like I said, it's made in America, 100% recyclable and recycled.
This is where we go, USA,
Yeah.
USA.
Easy storage. You can take it and you can slide it right in behind somebody's workbench somewhere. You're going to get years of use out of the product because it's made of high density polyethylene. The construction barrels on the highway.
Yeah,
that's what it's made out of. It's rated for 140 degrees below zero before the crack, chip, splinter, or break. It's easy for almost everybody to use.
we got some of that, and this is what solved our clip problem. What you just said.
Yeah.
Right. We put some ethylene in with the polypropylene and gave us the temperature characteristics.
Yeah.
And now we don't have. I mean, this was snapping early on because of cold temps before we release it to the market. So what you just said is key. It's not going to break on you either.
That goes. I started that back in my research and development, finding the plastic to use, because I was working on a construction site and I'm in the bathroom. I'm in the head they have on site, and I'm looking at the plastic walls, and I'm like, it was 20 degrees out. I'm like banging this thing, and I'm like, they never break. You can't break those things. Even the construction barrels, you can't break them.
And talk a little bit more about your experience with doing it in the U.S. versus going overseas, even to China. I mean, think about
they try to contact me all the time, trying to do something over in China. I'm not a real big fan because there's a couple of different barriers. I mean, just there's the currency exchange, there's the language exchange, there's the language and they're in meters. So you tell them you want something, they're offering you in millimeters. I'm like, I don't want millimeters. It's just kind of, no, that's not how it works. And then they send you a price and you're like, you can't believe it. You're like, that's a great price. And then you find out the millimeters are wrong.
Yeah.
Or
it doesn't have shipping costs involved, or it doesned have the packaging associated with it.
Don't even get me going with that. Yeah.
By the way, you got to spend $50K to get it over here because you need to order, $500,000.
Right. It's not even feasible.
Yeah, and like I always say, right, it's not a knock, it's just facts. Like, some products are meant to be made in the U.S., even if they're a little bit more. People like Walmart have already said the consumer will spend 20% more to have it made right here in the U.S.
Yeah.
And there's just a number of things. I think some things just don't make sense to have it made in the U.S., like materials and labor-intense products. So when you got something that like you're doing, whether it's an injection molded product or it's a dye stamp product, it makes sense.
And
local to you.
It's got a 5-year warranty on it against crack it.
5-year warranty. Who's doing that?
5 years. Yeah, 5 years against crack chipping and splinter and breaking, any of that. If you break it, I'm going to give you a new one. You just can't break it, and that's what it comes down to. It's very durable. It breaks up blue ice. You'll see the video on my website. I went out and I was looking at the ice because
Hey, what's that website again?
Bigblade.co. www.
There it goes. Bigblade.co.
So I'm drinking coffee one morning. My daughter's sitting there watching me, and I go, get your stuff on. She goes, what do you mean? Get your stuff on. Let's go outside. She goes, I don't want to go outside. I go, come on. Went outside. She's videotaping me. And I pick up the Big Blade and I just drop it. I didn't pick it up maybe 4 or 5 inches, and then just drop it from its own weight. I went in about 4 inches from the edge of the ice, and it just sheared the ice right off. And I looked at her, she looked at me, and I said, stop videoing. She starts videoing, and I just start chopping the ice, right? I get done with the whole patio, and I clear it off as if it was snow, like no problem. And it didn't hurt the underlying surface. I was worried about that because I built that patio myself. And I was like, I didn't want to ruin it, but it ended up, it didn't damage the underlying surface. The plastic will give before the brick.
Yeah. So great story, Kevin. I'm really proud of you, man. Making it in the U.S. I know it's not an easy task, but you've been strong on it. I'm certain you'll get a break. So take the last minute. Tell us everything about you. Where can they find it? How much does it cost? The sizes? Anything you want our audience to know.
All right. My name's Kevin Murray. I'm the owner of BigBlade.co. I'm in Port Jefferson Station, New York. And I've been here all my life. I'm a land surveyor by trade, but I'm doing this to make everybody happy. It's a great tool. It really works well. I know there's some naysayers out there, but it doesn't really matter to me. I'm just trying to help out. And it sells on Amazon. They fluctuate the price. Amazon adjusts the price periodically. It's usually $62 for the 32 and 67. It goes from 65 to 67, depending on the time of the year that they have it on there. It fluctuates. I'm right here in Port Jefferson Station. I have some here on my premises. And if you are on Long Island, give me a call. 631.
And what's that website again?
www.bigblade.co.
So everyone, get rid of your shovels. We got a better product. You don't need a shovel
I'm not telling
clean it up.
everybody
You
to
got a
bring
perfect product.
Shovels are great. Shovels do the job. But I'll tell you right now, add this tool to your arsenal and you'll be done a lot quicker, and your back won't be killing you.
Right. Yeah, awesome. Again, Kevin, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank
Really
you for having
appreciate it. And I love the enthusiasm and the passion and commitment you've made to no matter what the roadblocks are, you kept going. And I think that's really a story for everyone to understand that nothing is easy, right? Especially when you launch products, it's not easy, and you're going to hit bumps, and you just got to keep moving. Can't get discouraged. You got to keep going. I hear so many stories where there's bumps in the road. You just got to keep moving forward. I mean, we all have bumps in our lives, let alone launching products. So really proud of you. And the fact that you make it in the USA makes me even happier.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's a good product.
No doubt, no doubt. Yeah, I love it. I mean, I could probably use it down here. You know, one thing about it, Kevin, and this might happen, we've seen it in the news that, you know, some neighbors in areas get upset when it's snowing or they're yelling at their other neighbors. You know, you could basically hold that baby up if you had to as a shield.
Snowball fight, a shield.
You know, it's funny. You were saying down in North Carolina, my brother lives down there, and I gave him 2 of them, and he uses it to clear pine needles off his driveway.
Yeah, I was telling him earlier about the leaves. I use it for leaves, and so it has multi-purposes.
You use it as a shield too, like if around the gardens, like if you're fertilizing. I've had my kids walk around the garden's edge with it while I'm spreading fertilizer.
Yeah, nice.
It's like a shield.
I'm thinking that would have been pretty cool in my days of snowball fighting, or when we were lighting Roman candles and shooting them at each other. That would have been a good shield.
Right.
Don't try that at home,
candles,
folks.
Right. It's
Just
a
kidding.
blade shield, right?
Hey, real quick, and we're gonna close the show up. The product is kind of perfectly flat, right?
Absolutely. I got one here if you want to just take a quick look.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I would love to. Is that hard, Chris? Why he's getting that? Is that hard to make a product like that so it doesn't warp while it's cooling?
No, it's all the temperature and the pressure.
You see how skinny it is?
Oh, wow, look at that.
It's just a big piece of plastic that's, you know, impervious to anything. It really is. It does a great job.
Yeah, look at that thing.
It's a work of art.
It is pretty cool.
It is cool.
Yeah, and again, to have it like, you know, 5-year warranty.
Wow.
I mean, like nobody's giving 5-year warranties on anything. So that also shows the commitment, right? And the confidence that the product is great.
No doubt.
Made in USA stamp on it.
Yeah.
It's the best tool you'll ever buy. Best tool you'll ever buy.
I got to get a soundtrack. Every time somebody says Made in USA, I got to play some cool music or something, because that is awesome. It really is. It's unheard of to build a product that big and actually be selling it. Made in USA. It's awesome that you're doing that. And for all you listeners out there, please going out to bigblade.co. Even if you don't get snow, you live in the desert, whatever, you can use it to move sand. Just get one. I mean,
I've moved dirt with it.
There you go. There you go. See, but the good part about it is, what I want our listeners to know is that, you know, you will be supporting somebody who's making a product in USA. They're a local product developer. You're doing what you say you're doing. So if you know somebody that could use that product, go ahead and buy one. Even if you give it as a present or a gift, somebody could use what it can do. We really appreciate you guys all listening to the show today. For Mr. Christopher Guerrera, Made in America, we thank you for spending your time with us. For Kevin Murray, bigblade.co. For myself, Carmen Danisco, we will catch you next time on Made in America. You all take care.
Thank you, guys.